Hello everyone, my name is Alexa Dunn. I am an author, but I also love playing video games, and specifically, I'm a huge Sims fan. I recently posted a video where I went over my fall favorites and I mentioned the Sims 4 Get Famous expansion pack, and many people were saying, hey, make more videos about Sims. And specifically, I have been asked by a lot of friends about how to get into Sims 4, like where to start, which expansion packs, game packs, and stuff packs are worth buying. And in fact, many of them go, wait, there are expansion packs, game packs, and stuff packs? Because for Sims fans who haven't played The Sims 4, who are diehard fans of The Sims 2 or The Sims 3, The Sims 4 is a bit of a different, ecosystem and buying experience. And in fact, The Sims 4 has gotten a lot of flack since it came out. I'm not going to go into detail about kind of the fandom stuff of the differences between Sims 4 and the earlier versions and some of the pushback, but I will link to down below some really interesting discussion videos that definitely lay out the storied history of Sims 4 since its release 4 years ago. But I personally feel that with the release of the Seasons expansion in June and the Get Famous expansion, which just dropped last week, I am finally comfortable and confident recommending to friends who have not only never played any Sims, but who love The Sims 2 or Sims 3 to jump into The Sims 4. And so this is my newbie buying guide for The Sims 4. Now I have to say up front, the thing about Sims, the beautiful thing about Sims is that everyone has a different gameplay style and preferences for The Sims. I'm going to tell you a bit about my Sims gameplay preferences and style, and it definitely does inform some of my opinions, but I have tried to set aside some of my personal feelings about Sims and gameplay to give a recommendation to new Sims fans of what the must-buy packs are if you were just getting into it now. I am posting this the week of Black Friday because my #1 piece of advice if you are getting into The Sims is to always buy on sale. Origin does a major sale about twice a year, the Black Friday sale, and then usually a sale in the spring. I don't remember the exact timing, but Origin has sales a few times a year. And these are the best times to stock up on The Sims because bless Origin and EA, because they are definitely business people, and the MO on Sims 4, love it or leave it, is tons of expansion packs, game packs, and stuff packs. They're always coming out with new content to expand the game and asking for your cold hard-earned cash. And honestly, some of them are too expensive and not worth getting at full price. Others are totally worth that full price tag, so you can buy it no matter what the time of the year is. But the optic of this video is to post it during Black Friday week so that you can get started on The Sims 4 and get more bang for your buck. You should be able to get essentially twice as many expansion packs and stuff packs and game packs for your money, because most of them are going to be 50% off during the Black Friday sale. Though not all. New expansion packs are never on sale during the Black Friday sale, so if you're interested in Get Famous, you will need to pay $40 for that expansion, but I do think it's worth it. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so what does all this mean? Expansion packs, game packs, stuff packs. I'm gonna tell you what each of them are, and then this video is going to be divided into 3 sections. Expansion packs, game packs, and stuff packs. Shock. And within each section, I'm going to talk about what I think the must-buys are versus kind of the mehs or the optional buys. I'm gonna leave timestamps down below so you can jump around. This is probably going to be a little bit long because there is so much content for The Sims 4 and so much to talk about, so I'm gonna make it easy for you. You can jump right ahead to the content you are interested in if you are coming here with a purpose to hear, oh, should I buy that specific thing? But if you're completely new, you might want to watch the whole thing because I'm going to give you a bit of a deep dive. But first, let's talk about my gameplay style and preferences. It's kind of like a disclaimer because anytime you are hearing someone's opinion about Sims and what's worth buying, you do need to take into consideration their gameplay preferences. So, I like pretty realistic gameplay. I really enjoy relationship and kind of story goal-based gameplay. So I like to create my Sims and level up their skills and have them fall in love with each other. I love relationship-based play. Then I like them to have kids. I love playing parenting in The Sims. I'm really into parenting in The Sims. And then I enjoy certain career-based play. I don't like all of the careers in The Sims, but I do like kind of the aspiration goals and leveling them up in a career, though some of the careers become really tedious, but more of that later. I essentially like playing Sims strategically. It's ambitious. It's like, okay, I want to create the best possible people and I want them to be really good at stuff and I want them to create great children and be great parents, and that is the kind of gameplay I like. Comparatively, I am not that Simmer who likes to creatively kill their Sims. I don't like it when my Sims die because I care so much about them. And I don't particularly enjoy some of the kind of puzzle-based play, so you're not going to see me recommend you buy Jungle Adventure Game Pack. In The Sims 3, I didn't like any of the world adventure stuff either. I find it really tedious to send your Sim on vacation and then make them go through a number of steps to find objects. I just don't care, which means I'm also not the player who does kind of, you know, the fishing or the gardening, etc. I tend towards certain kind of skills and hobbies and careers in The Sims, and so that does inform kind of some of my opinions of which packs I like, can take or leave. So if you're a player like me, this will help you kind of evaluate, you know, whether you agree with some of my buys. And really the thing is, there's very few packs in The Sims that I'm going to tell you do not under any circumstances buy this. Most of that's going to fall under stuff packs because a few of them are a racket. Really, I own every single expansion. I bought all the expansion packs. So even if I'm not recommending that you buy them as a must buy right now starting out, they're honestly all worth getting. Then we get into game packs. So what are these things? So expansion packs add critical new gameplay elements and often new worlds. These are the most expensive. They are $40 each, but they really are game changers in how you play the game. They're big expansion packs. Contrasting this to game packs, which are basically like a step below expansion packs. They may add a lot of layers and complexity to gameplay, but they're not going to like be a game changer for the game. But depending on your playstyle, a game pack might appeal to you. Game packs are usually thematic, so there's one for parenthood, there's one for vampires, and so on. And then last but not least are stuff packs, which you get stuff in them, basically. Stuff packs are also arranged around a theme, and it's essentially things you can buy and use in the game. So it's fashion items, it's furniture, it might be essential things like hot tubs, which is a whole other topic. Why aren't hot tubs automatically included in The Sims 4? Hashtag Sims 4 problems. Moving on. So game packs usually retail at $20 and stuff packs retail at $10, or really $9.99, $19.99, and $39.99. They just get shy of nudging into that upper price point so you feel like you're saving money, but realistically they're $10, $20, and $40 stuff packs, game packs, and expansions. But during this sale, you're usually going to get each of these things for 50% off. So your expansions, your older expansions are going to be $20, your game packs are going to be $10, and your stuff packs are going to be $5. And in most cases, I would pay $5 for a stuff pack, but not $10. So you already have a preview of how much I'm going to recommend you pick up stuff packs. But again, this comes back to the kind of player I am. Another type I didn't say before, you could be the type of player who loves building things. So you like building community lots and household lots and, you know, fussing around with furniture and style. Or you might be really into designing Sims. So stuff packs might appeal to you because you like the stuff. Alright, so let's get into the actual purchase recommendations. Again, the disclaimer, personal opinion only, but this is what I recommend to the average person just getting started in Sims 4. If you did previously play Sims 2 or Sims 3, you're going to have pre-established feelings about expansion packs from those games. And in many cases, you'll have a pretty good sense of whether you're going to like the expansion in Sims 4 if you loved that expansion in a previous version. So if you are a Sims 2, Sims 3 player coming into this video, bear that in mind. In some cases, you might go, oh, but I know I'm gonna like that one because I loved X. So in that case, go with your gut. So let's start with expansions. I'm going to go over every single expansion, whereas in the other sections, I'm not going to go into depth or detail about every single one. But I own every expansion, so we're going to talk about them. The first expansion pack is Get to Work, which adds careers to The Sims 4, additional careers, including 3 where you can go to work with your sim. The detective career, the doctor career, and the scientist career. So you follow your sim to work and there are tasks to do at the job, and you level up skills. Get to Work came with a new neighborhood called Magnolia Promenade, where you can open retail businesses. The retail businesses that came with Get to Work include opening a bakery or a general retail shop. The pack also added playable alien sims as well as the baking and photography skills. The next pack is Get Together, which is basically the social pack. You can create and join clubs. You can give these clubs kind of entry requirements and things that the club members do. The pack also added the DJ and dancing skills, as well as a bunch of new kind of social hobby interactions that your sim can partake in. It also added a new world, Windenburg, which is a European-inspired world. This world is populated with all the lots you would expect, whereas the Get to Work pack, Magnolia Promenade, was really just for retail. The next expansion is City Living, which it's exactly what it says on the tin. It added city living, including a new neighborhood inspired by San Francisco. It added apartments to the game, as well as lot traits, which are fun to play with, and culture. City Living introduced food stalls and the recipe challenge, where you can go to different culturally inspired food stalls, eat food, and then learn how to cook those recipes. It also introduced festivals. There's a romance festival, a geek festival, a spice festival, and a hijinks and mischief festivals. Oh, and flea markets. So essentially events that your sim can attend and enter challenges and level up their skills. City Living also added karaoke bars, which I really enjoy. And the new world that was added is called San Myshuno, which is like a hybrid between San Francisco and like maybe Tokyo and New York. The next expansion is Cats and Dogs, which added cats and dogs to The Sims 4. Unlike in previous versions like The Sims 3, the cats and dogs are not themselves playable. It's really about owning those animals. The pack added the veterinary career and ability to create your own veterinary practice, as well as a new world. The new world is called Brindleton Bay. The next pack is Seasons, which adds realistic seasonal gameplay to the game. Essentially summer, fall, winter, and spring. There's no new world with this one, but each of the different worlds that already come with The Sims or with expansion packs now have seasons in them. The pack also added holidays and events and a new career, Botanist. And finally, Get Famous, the pack that just came out, introduces a fame system to The Sims 4, as well as a new place, Del Sol Valley, which is modeled off of Los Angeles, and the acting and style influencer careers. Now, on to my opinions. What is must-have versus meh, or just... Well, again, it really depends on your gameplay, but I'm going to share what I think is must-have for a total newbie to The Sims 4. You are buying The Sims 4 during this Black Friday sale, and you don't want to blow your money on every single expansion. So, these are the ones that I think are must-haves. The first one is Get Together. Now, not everyone's going to agree with me. I know this isn't everyone's favorite expansion pack, but I love Windenburg. The new world that came with this expansion pack is one of my favorites to play in. I love the nightclub there. I love the style of the architecture and all the objects that come with it. So if you like interesting, cute worlds, I would get this one for the world. I just love the European-inspired aesthetic. And then I do like clubs. I tend not to use them deeper into my gameplay, but I like using clubs when I'm just starting on a sim household. I like to create a club so that they can meet other people, especially if I'm trying to get them a romance to happen pretty quickly. I find it is the easiest way to see what sims are populated in the world and get them to meet with your sim, because otherwise it's kind of a matter of going to random locations and hoping you run into someone who's your age who has the traits that you want. So I do like clubs for that reason. I basically use it for social engineering. The next essential is City Living. Again, I know there are some people who didn't love City Living, but I just think that the addition of the city, the culture, some of the new careers that came with that one, as well as apartment living and the lot traits. I think it is a really good pack for someone who's brand new to The Sims. I think that they'll be really kind of sparked by the festivals and the challenges. And to me, city living is the closest you get to late night in Sims 3, which is my all-time favorite expansion pack and the one that got me into playing The Sims. So I recommend city living in conjunction with one of these other packs to kind of give what I think is the ultimate engaging Sims 4 experience. The next must buy is Seasons, because Seasons is essential for realistic game play. It's one of those things where you don't really think about it when you don't have Seasons, and then you get Seasons and it like changes the entire game experience. So if you're brand new to The Sims, I would definitely get Seasons because it just makes the gameplay more layered and nuanced. It is also a fan favorite. If you look over here on YouTube, most people name Seasons as their favorite expansion so far. I also think the holiday and event system that was introduced and refined is fantastic. I really liked the gold events for holidays like Winterfest and the Harvest Fest. I really like how it enhances my gameplay. I like being able to pre-schedule things like birthday parties. I like creating my own holidays. So Seasons is definitely a must-buy. And then last but certainly not least, you will need to get this one at full price, and that is Get Famous, because it just came out. Honestly, I've played it for about 15 hours and it's already a must-buy for me. I was really anticipating it, as so many of us were. This one, in conjunction with City Living, is going to give you the closest approximation of what I call the late night experience. Again, my favorite expansion for The Sims 3. I just think it levels up the gameplay of Sims 4 overall. And that's the thing about the earlier days of The Sims 4. If you are a Sims 2 or Sims 3 fan and you heard bad things about Sims 4 and it's why you haven't gotten into it yet, I completely understand. I'll say the first 2 years of playing this game, something was missing. But then for me, City Living, Seasons, and Get Famous, like the trifecta, those three together, are really what made the gameplay start clicking for me again. I've really enjoyed Get Famous of what I've played so far, and so I think that one is definitely a must buy. Now on to the mehs. They're kind of meh to me. This isn't anything against these two packs, and for a different player, these two packs would be a must buy. So the first one is Get to Work. Now, I loved the Ambitions expansion for Sims 3, and I loved Get to Work when I first got it, but over time I find I just don't play the features of Get to Work. I found owning a retail store extremely tedious, gave up on it very fast, and then the follow-along careers that you get in Get to Work, the detective career, the doctor career, and the scientist career, again, get very tedious after a while, and I've never done gameplay on any of those careers past the first couple career levels. So for me, ultimately, Get to Work is great, and as I said, if you're going to go all in on The Sims, just buy all the expansions if you can afford it. But for me, Get to Work would be the take or leave one. But if you think you're going to really dig deep into career-based play, Get to Work might be worth it for you. And then Cats and Dogs. Again, this is going to be a must-buy for a lot of people, especially if the pets packs in previous Sims were must-buys for them. And this was an auto-buy for me. I bought it brand new when it came out. But ultimately, again, I found it tedious. After owning Cats and Dogs with a few of my households, I stopped adding them to my households because the pets are very needy. Even when you give them independent traits, they just kind of sap a lot of time and attention away when you want your Sims to be interacting with people, parenting or developing their career. So I found that Cats and Dogs essentially conflicted with my gameplay style. But if you want to go all in on pet gameplay, it might be a good one for you. And I do really like the world. I do like Brindleton Bay. I play in Brindleton Bay a lot because it has nice big lots and I like the scenery, even if I'm not playing with cats and dogs. So kind of pros and cons there. But if you're going into Sims 4 on a budget, that is my must-buys versus my mehs. All right, now we're on to game packs. I'm going to dive right into my must-buys versus my mehs. So there is one must-buy game pack, and that is Parenthood. This is one of the best things that has been released for The Sims 4. Again, fan favorite. There's pretty universal consensus on this between the Seasons expansion and the Parenthood game pack. In previous Sims iterations, Parenting was actually an expansion pack, and this is the most robust game pack they've released. I mean, it is bang for your buck. Honestly, that Parenthood is worth full price. I paid $20 for it and I have zero regrets. But again, I like parent-based play. The Parenthood game pack introduced the parenting trait, the skill that you can develop. I really like it. I like all the different interactions with toddlers and kids and teens. So Parenthood is a must-buy pack for me. Now for the mez. And the thing with these is that whether or not you want to buy them is going to depend entirely on your preferences and game style and budget. Now, I'm actually going to be picking up a couple of these that I don't own, that I declined to buy at full price during the sale myself. So starting with one that I do own, I bought this during a previous sale, and that is Outdoor Retreat. I've used Outdoor Retreat once or twice and it was fine. Essentially, if you want to go camping with your Sims, Outdoor Retreat is a nice game pack to buy. There is a world that comes with it, and essentially you send your Sim on vacation and they go camping or glamping. There are cabins available that you can rent. I do like it kind of as like a little vacation jaunt. I do like the scenery, but it has some of that goal-based play that I just don't care about. There are essentially like collector's mission-y things that you can do. So if that sounds up your alley, you might want to go for Outdoor Retreat. Next is Spa Day. Haven't bought this one. You can send your Sim to the spa. That's it. The consensus on this one is that it does come with some nice stuff, so again, if you do like to play for stuff, you might like Spa Day, but many of the Simmers that I trust when I go for reviews say they used it once or twice and then they don't use it again, which mirrors my experience with Outdoor Retreat, actually. But this is one I might pick up myself on sale. Next is Jungle Adventure. As I said, I don't like vacation goal-based play. I just don't care. And Jungle Adventure is built around that. You go on a jungle adventure and you're basically going on a scavenger hunt with your Sim to solve mysteries and find things, and I don't like that kind of gameplay. But there are people who love that gameplay, and Jungle Adventure is actually a pretty highly rated pack. So if that kind of gameplay sounds good to you, you might want to check it out, but for me, it's a giant ol' meh. Next is Vampires! You'd think this would be a must-buy, but the consensus from the Sims community is that it was a meh game pack. It's really for diehards who love vampires. And this is one that I am going to pick up during the sale, but I just wasn't interested in purchasing it at full price. Because I like realistic gameplay, supernatural elements in Sims have never been my favorite. But if that is what you want, if supernatural elements in your Sims gameplay is a must buy, then you might want to pick up Vampires. I will say I did like Vampires in Late Night in Sims 3, but it basically wasn't worth it to me when the game pack came out to buy that as an individual game pack. But it does come with its own world, which does give it real bang for buck as a game pack because game packs are less expensive than expansions. So that is something to bear in mind. And last but certainly not least is Dine Out, a game pack about which I am quite conflicted. I actually bought this when it came out because I was looking to enhance my gameplay from Get to Work. Because I was finding that I wasn't as fully engaged in Get to Work as I wanted to be, but I liked that Dine Out introduced the option to own a restaurant. I really liked the idea. And I bought it and I played it at first, but like many of the other things, it became tedious and I stopped playing that game pack and that feature. But if owning a restaurant sounds like something you would want to invest a lot of gameplay in, it is a worthwhile game pack to pick up. So again, a lot of these things kind of depend on your play preferences between both the game packs and the expansion packs. Now on to stuff packs. Stuff packs. So I kind of hate stuff packs if you can't tell, and so do a lot of Sims 4 fans because the stuff packs often have come out instead of a juicy expansion or game pack, and it's just felt a little bit like greed, like the company wanting to bleed us for money. And again, because I'm not as into kind of create a sim and build mode stuff, I haven't picked up 99% of the stuff packs. I did buy one, which is the most popular stuff pack, so it is the only one on my must-buy list technically, but it's only must-buy if you like this gameplay element. And that stuff pack is Laundry Day. And I know you're thinking, what? And in fact, some of the people who reviewed it when it came out went, what? This is what people voted on? Because this was a fan-voted pack. But if you've played The Sims before, you know why. It is weird, but I like laundry in The Sims. I don't know, it's just an element of realistic gameplay that I enjoy. And your sim gets like a happy moodlet from having warm, you know, dry, freshly cleaned clothing. I don't know, there's something about the realism that having laundry adds to my game. So I bought that stuff pack at full price. I kind of feel silly buying it, but it's definitely one, I'd say it is a must buy that you won't regret if you're buying it on sale. Now, the rest of them, I'm not gonna go through them all because there's so many, but I am going to link you down below to a great video that the Sims Supply did, which was like all of the Sims 4 stuff ranked. Now, I don't agree with all of the rankings, as I've said in this video, because I don't care about jungle adventure and so on and so forth, but if you want to hear more about the stuff packs and see how many of them are low rated by fans, you should definitely check out that video. And I'll pull out a few of the highlights. So overall, my first pet stuff is universally hated. No one likes it. It came out shortly after Cats and Dogs, and it basically adds hamsters to the game, and it's just was a total ripoff for $10, so don't get that one unless you really want to own a hamster in your game, and definitely don't buy it at full price. And then among the other ones that I might be picking up on sale, toddler stuff appeals to me because I do like gameplay with kids. Same thing with the kids' room stuff. I might pick that up because a lot of the custom builds that I like to download from the gallery use stuff from that pack. And then I'm probably going to get Perfect Patio stuff because it has hot tubs, though I will forever bemoan the fact that those aren't available in the base game. Gosh, you could do a whole video just ranting about stuff that should be available in the Sims 4 base game, but is not. We did not have toddlers for over 2 years. But everything's great now. No, I've recently been on a pretty obsessive Sims 4 game playing kick, which is why I'm finally recommending it to people who either have never played The Sims or people who are still diehard Sims 2 and Sims 3 players who want to get into the new one. Oh, and then I might buy vintage glamour stuff just because I like retro stuff, but again, definitely not buying that at full price. So that's it. That is my Sims 4 newbie buying guide. My personal recommendations for what someone who's brand new to The Sims 4 or have played previous iterations of The Sims should pick up. So if you were to take all of my must-buy recommendations during the Black Friday sale, if you buy the base game plus all of the must-buy expansions, you'd spend about $120, $80 if you don't get famous. And then I only recommended one must-buy game pack and one must-buy stuff pack, kind of, and that would be $15. So let's say you don't get famous. For the tune of $95, you can get a pretty robust starting experience with The Sims 4. But honestly, during the sale, if you wanted to, if you didn't go all in on the stuff packs, but you went all in on the expansions and the game packs for like $150, you could get a lot of stuff, maybe $160, $170. You could get the full Sims experience for a fraction of what someone like me paid because I bought all of this stuff new when it came out. Why? Because I'm impatient, that's why. So this is the ideal time to get into The Sims 4. It's never going to be cheaper than this, and it's a great time to try packs that you're not so sure about. But also, if you are brand new to The Sims 4, like you've never played before, you might want to start out a bit circumspect. Buy the base game and then maybe one or two expansions, maybe a game pack. I really do think that Parenthood is a must buy, and see what kind of gameplay style you like. Then you can kind of discover whether or not certain of these game packs or expansion packs are worth purchasing at all. Because if you discover that your gameplay is X, but you spent your money on Y, you ultimately might feel kind of disappointed. Whereas if you are a Sims 2 or Sims 3 player, just from watching this and hearing me talk about them, you probably have a pretty good idea of whether you agree with me or not and which of these packs are worth your money. I hope this was helpful for those of you looking for some guidance on what to buy. Let me know down below in the comments any questions you have, or if you are an avid Sims 4 player, are there any expansions or game packs or stuff packs that you really love that I'm not that into, additional insights you can offer, and so on. Let's consider this a space to kind of put together some best practices and ideas for getting into The Sims 4. I was honestly quite shocked because I searched YouTube for a video like this and I didn't really see one. And YouTube actually has an avid Sims 4 community. If you're curious about The Sims, you can watch a ton of channels who do gameplay and get a sense of the different packs and kind of experiences. I will link to down below some of my favorite Simmers on YouTube. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in my bookish and writing content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I don't do a ton of video game content, though I'm going to try to do more because people like it and I like it. I spend a significant amount of my time when I'm not watching television or writing playing PC games. So this was really fun to do. I've been so excited to film this video, so excited to play Sims 4 Get Famous. Like, my anticipation was intense on that one, and yeah, buy it. I mean, honestly, if you have $40, buy it. I love it so, so much. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and happy simming!